Criminal case number 98, 2025, Vincent Nyongesa, Daktari Mogere, Emmanuel Mubani na Aaron Singoli.
Greetings to you all. I hope that you're fine and you're having a great time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. And of course, the time that you will watch this video. It is my prayer by the time you watch the video, you're going to be of good health. So my guys, I'm so good. We are coming to the end of our school break here in Kenya. We are almost breaking for the August holiday, and that is why I've been trying so much to create content. Did you watch my cooking vlog? If you have not, what else are you waiting for? Please go watch. I have a lot of work. We've been marking. I saw Kamanja, who is a teacher like Mary TV. He posted. He has a lot of marking to do, and that is what happens. And by the way, you may never understand our system. Most of our government schools usually have a lot of students. Like they can be over 1,500. So you can imagine if you are teaching one subject like 6 people, you'll have a lot of work to do. And that is why when it comes towards closure, it is kind of crazy. Anyway, I want us to go to the courts. I was so shocked, my people, when I saw Gintu recording the proceedings in a courtroom. And I asked myself, what is happening here? What is happening here? You know, when you go to court, our courts are very strict. Do you understand? Like, you cannot just go there and start recording. But of course, we know who Gintu is, you know. Or do you need me to tell you that he's a sniper? If you don't know, he's a sniper. So this is a guy that can record from whichever the angle, as long as he does the recording. Do you understand? And I was so shocked when he captured Dimango, David Jr., and Marwa, and other people walking into the court. And if I'm not wrong, that was the magistrate. I heard her reading some of the whatever that she had. And the point for Gintu is, I can do anything that I want to do. Do you understand? Like, he can do anything that he wants to do because he's the real G, according to him. Remember, this guy left Nyabohanse, and he was psyched by his subscribers to go and travel so that he can beat Marwa on his game. Do you understand? At his own game. Do you understand? And we saw Gintu coming out of Kenya or going to Tanzania or Zambia, Zimbabwe. But the views were not viewing. Do you understand? So he had to come back to Nyabohanse and start, you know, sniffing around. You know, he's a sniffer. Do you have such a word? So he's a sniffer. He had to come back to Nyabohanse and start sniffing around. The moment he landed in Nyabohanse, chaos began. We saw him at the road, you know, where the road was being constructed or rather renovated by Maro. We saw him recording everything that was happening there. And then he made a comment and said, oh, what they are doing is good, or the road is going to benefit the community members and blah, blah. And guess what, my people? When you listen to this guy, you'll just know he's a guy who has no content. The only thing that he has is a mouth and a gullible audience that I don't understand. What do they like? How do they cheer him on? Like, why would you always encourage a person like Gintu to come out and shoot wrong information, or rather, if he doesn't do that, just to sit down, bring his camera, put it on, and start spreading rumors about so many people in Nyabohanse? So let's go back to the court. We all know what is happening at the court. There's this issue to do with Morimi, and I told you in a live stream that I did, as an African, I know shedding blood of a kin is not something that is taken lightly. If you don't know, now you know. Because we believe, you know, a person who is related to you is sacred. Do you understand? I don't know whether you get the tingle. Like, this is not a person that you should just go and fight with. And, you know, to an extent where they shed blood. It is an abomination. And sometimes communities have to do some kind of culture or tradition so as to cleanse the people that are involved. So this guy Morimi, he was attacked by his own people. Just imagine, by your own people, your own blood. And when you listen to all the information that is here on the streets, you'll understand that they also have an interest in the wife. And that made me ask myself, is Morimi not a man? Like, seriously? Why would someone want Morimi's wife when we have so many women in Nyabohanse? By the way, we have so many women in Nyabohanse. They are all over. If not in Nyabohanse, in other places. Why would someone not go, why can't you just go and find your own woman? Do you understand? Why would you wait for another man to marry so that you start seducing their own wife? And to make the matters worse, Morimi's extended family, supports this matter. Do you understand? The uncle has been promised dowry by this alleged guy. And this is where the conflict comes in. Apart from that, this guy, what the piece of land that they are in is what we call the ancestral land. And the truth of the matter is that ancestral lands, mostly Kenyans, let me talk about Kenyans because I don't know about other African countries. But please, if you come from Africa, drop your comment here. Let's have a conversation. What I know, like myself, the family that I am born in, do you understand? We have our ancestral, piece of land. And ancestral piece of land is usually not sold. Do you understand? It is passed from generation to generation. But nowadays, it is kind of different because people have opted to sell their ancestral land so that they can get out of a toxic, family setup and go and buy a piece of land in another place. So this guy Morimi sold his piece of land to Dimango's father. Do you understand? And I want to make it very, very clear here. This is where the naysayers miss it out. Morimi has sold another piece of land, or rather he sold another piece of land to another different person. Do you get the thing, or do you follow what I'm saying? Like, it is not Congrats dad, the first person to buy land from Morimi. And that is why I have always said, if these people are fair, if they're just, if they do not have any hidden agenda, why have they never ever gone after this other person or persons that bought the piece of land from Morimi? Why did they wait until Congrats dad came and bought the piece of land? Okay, so when Dimango bought this piece of land, we saw her doing several first activities. I'll call them first activities, like those the digging of the pit latrine, there was the building of the store, and then the road. When that road was being dug, nobody came out to complain. Unless I'm the one who is crazy, unless I'm the one who is missing out something, please let me know. When they started digging the piece of land, the piece of road, just clearing it and all that, nobody complained. Mara said that piece of road, that road that was being made would be used for transportation of materials. Do you get it? And therefore, nobody came out and complained. They were so much okay about it. They supported Dimango from afar. Like, you don't need to come to the camera and say, I agree and I support. They supported her, but from afar. Do you understand? And then, when this issue to do with Morimi came up, you understand, when Morimi stole from Dimango's construction site, the family offered to forgive him and offered to support him. Do you understand? And this is where I feel the other, extended family felt bitter. When they saw someone holding Morimi's hand, they couldn't take it. Like, seriously, they couldn't. And they started having a grudge towards Morimi. And if you remember, that is the time when Ernesto, the brother, came out and he was like, oh, I don't want to be talking bad about this family, blah, blah, blah. You understand? And Morimi has been always very close to Dimango and the family. They are supporting him. Do you get it? And I'll take you back. When Morimi was constructing his house, remember, the door and the windows were bought by Congrats dad. Do you get it? As a way of supporting him. And we all know Morimi is a drunkard. Who doesn't know? Is it a secret? Is it a secret? Let me know. Is it a secret? Who doesn't know Morimi is a drunkard? We have seen him on camera while he's drunk. There's a time when David Jr. was with Matiko, the guy who went to rehab. And Morimi said in a day he spends 500 Kenyan shillings just on liquor. This guy is a drunkard and he needs help. Do you understand? If he can be taken to rehab, the better. But this matter of people coming to fight him, to beat him up, just because he's maybe, let me say, the weaker one, It's not in order. You can imagine if the whole family is against you. You are one versus maybe 10 people. They'll injure you. They can even pay you. And therefore, he had all the right to go to the hospital. He had all the right to go to the police station, get a P3 form, fill it, and go and launch a complaint at the police station. So the matter was taken to court. And of course, they need to go and answer. Therefore, a person like Gintu, when he goes to the court and captures the proceedings, because you know these are court proceedings, and I believe they shouldn't just be captured by anyone. Do you understand? That is what I know. In fact, not what I believe, what I know. Like, sometimes we have some cases that can be broadcasted. I've seen so many, by the way. I've seen so many in courts here in Kenya. I have watched. But the point, you know, my point is this. Gintu did it out of being malicious so that he can bring out to these people. And you know, he had to bring in the Mercedes-Benz. I remember him talking about the Mercedes-Benz, or these guys are rich, they came from inside the Mercedes-Benz, and they're so untidy, or I don't know, Marwa's hair looks unkempt, David Jr., blah, blah. They want to come with the Mercedes-Benz to the court so that, you know, people can be scared of them and etc. After all, the Mercedes-Benz is not yours. What is your problem? It's not yours, it's for Marwa. Let them enjoy. Do you understand? And therefore, the magistrate listened to the case, and as I speak, or as I create this content, I understand that they have been released from the custody, which is still okay. Do you understand? Sometimes a bail can be posted. Is it news? What is Gintu trying to tell us here? Is it news?
Family gonna be getting to another family, which is a very stupidical things ever possible at this kind of the time. And what I can say is let the farm talk about the law firm deal with it cause, because the only family members who they came talk about the wife to the accused person. She was there, and when even they talked about you have been fined, talk about a fine of 20,000 Kenya shillings, both of them, so they can just come out. And they thought about Maro thought about.
So guys, I had to switch position because of a lot of interruption. But anyways, this guy Gintu, as I was saying, he went to the court to record the court proceedings. And his intention, of course, is to show his people the way nothing can stop him and such and such. Okay, so as I was saying, there's no way we can sit down and support some matters that are, you know, that are not okay. Like, for example, when these people attack Morimi, what do they expect? Morimi has all the rights to go and complain. What did they want him to do? Do you understand? I hope they are not looking forward for this matter to be settled at home. It should be handled at the court, and let justice be served to Morimi. Do you understand? Let justice be served to Morimi. This Gintu, in fact, I'm wondering, why is it that he has not come out to tell us what is happening to Percy? Because he said there is a problem with Percy. There is something that is cooking under the waters. Percy is not doing good, and therefore we want him to go and tell us about his own people, rather than just sitting down and waiting to come and talk about Maro, to talk about the Benz, to talk about Dimango, David Jr., and the entire family. You know, Gintu is one crazy guy. I heard him say he wants Maro to apologize to him, because it is Marwa that threw him out of the villa, you know. And then once Marwa does the apology, he'll also apologize to Marwa, apologize to Dimango and the entire family. But the truth of the matter is, who can trust Gintu? Gintu is this one character that is always out there creating contradicting information so as to confuse people. Remember, it is him that brought all these chaos that are in Nyabohanse. When he came from the villa, if you remember, he started creating content and telling lies on the, in the public about Marwa. And that is the time when he gained fame, and most people were actually waiting for his next video so that they can hear what he has to say about Marwa. But when you look at it keenly, everything that Gintu says is not true. Gintu is a schemer. He's very calculative, very calculative. He will come out and tell lies. Like when he went to the court, why is it that he never came out to give people the exact information, or rather to tell people about the proceedings. Why would he why couldn't he just come out and like give us a summary of what happened at the court, if he really has any good intention? I find it to be so cunning when you go and record people just to show people that Dimango, David Jr. and Maro have entered the courtroom. The message that you're trying to spread out to people is that these people are having a rough time, or rather a hard time. Why don't you come out and summarize everything that happened at the court? What did the magistrate say? I heard him talking about a mention, I think somewhere on 6th August. I don't know if you did watch him. You can also let me know if the dates are correct or accurate as to what he said. But at the end of the day, when you listen to Gintu is an agent for the naysayers. Do you understand? And of course, the agent of very big donors that are supporting the naysayers. And someone told me that Gintu, had to cut short his travels because he was instructed to do so by his major donator, so that he comes back to Nyabohanse, or rather goes back to Nyabohanse, so that he can record what is happening at the ground. They wanted to see what Maro is doing. They wanted to witness the Mercedes-Benz that was brought at the village. Like literally, they wanted him to confirm to them whether this is true or not. But who is God? Didn't you see the Mercedes-Benz? Black, very black, dark. The darker the berry. Do you know that tingle? The darker the berry, the sweeter the... Okay, so we saw the Mercedes-Benz arriving in Nyabohanse. So why would you even waste your money and tell Gintu to travel? And then he goes up to Zimbabwe and then bring him back so that he can, share this information to you. Like, you don't have other people to trust. I thought you trust people like Masubo, or we have Maxwan and the other small boys. Why is it Gintu? And if you want to know, the fall of Nyabohanse will be because of subscribers. Do you understand? It will not be because of them. In fact, the person at the forefront, or the people at the forefront, will be the subscribers, because these are the people that call the shots. Do you get it? They use money that they have to influence the village. They use the money to manipulate these boys in Nyabohanse. And that is why when you look at a person like Gintu, whatever he says, doesn't make sense. Do you understand? If you buy a piece of land, of course, there's no way you can do it, blindly. You need to understand, how will you get to your piece of land? How will you get to your exact home? Because you can't just buy a piece of land that is landlocked. Do you understand? And Congrats Dad is a man that is knowledgeable when it comes to such matters like land buying. Why would he go and buy a landlocked piece of land? Do you get it? And therefore, this Morimi's case, it is just a matter of jealous among the family members. And this one is something that happens. It is not just, in Morimi's family. Most families have such. Do you get it? And especially where we have ancestral land, where majority of family members stay together, they tend to backstab each other. They tend to feel, or rather to be malicious towards one another. And when you look at Morimi, they say he's a drunkard. They say he's a very irresponsible man. That is the extended family. But what they are forgetting is that Morimi has all the rights as a son to that family. He has all the rights to do whatever he has to do. If he has been given his share and he wants to sell, who are they to stop him? At the end of the day, has he sold everything? He has a house for the family. I know some of you will come and tell me that is not a decent house, but at the end of the day, that is what he can afford. Do you get it? You scratch where your hand can reach. Like, you cannot want to scratch where your hand can't. Do you understand? What you have is what you use. And therefore, they should just let Morimi be. They should not just beat him and harass him because he's a drunkard. They should not do that because Morimi is in support of Dimango and the family. Do you get it? I had someone asking, how is Dee going to survive around such a neighborhood if she has already started taking her neighbors to court? She will survive. Do you understand? If your neighbors do not want to see you, if they don't want to have any good relation with you, what can you do? You know, what can you do? You'll just mind your own business. That is it. Do you understand? Because there's no way I'll sit and my neighbor is oppressing me and I keep quiet. You know, this matter to do with land is so critical, and especially here in Africa. Let's say this is where your land, you see this board that is here, this one. Let's say this is the demarcation. Do you know there are some neighbors that when you wake up, you'll find that they have shifted it a little bit. And most of the time, they'll push it to your side so that their land can keep on, like their land can be bigger than yours. It happens, including in this village where I stay. Like myself, when I bought my piece of land, the first thing that we did was to ensure the beacons were at the right place. After that, you know, of course, we had the surveyor. My piece of land is just at, let me call it at the main road. Like, I don't need to go through any other person's place. It's just the main road. And then I get to my home. So when we did that, we had to fence, like that, you know, beacons, fencing. And we ensured the fence is strong, and I also planted the live fence. I'll take you there so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Because we know what people can do, and especially when you are a woman. Do you understand? Let's say a single woman who is not married. They'll always want to take advantage of you. So there are so many people that are supporting Dimango. There are so many people that are looking out for her. People like Morimi. We have the family. We have Uncle Mo. We have Maro. We have David Jr. We have the father. And this is what makes these people to be bitter. And that is why I told you guys sometimes back, if Dimango was left to do everything in that construction site, it will be very, very hard for her. And the reason is because that is a male-dominated society, if you understand what I'm talking about. And most Kenyan families, they are usually male-dominated. And that is why you'll find they want to take advantage of a woman who does not have a person to support them. And when I say a person, I mean a man. Do you get it? And Dimango said it very well. She now understands why men are very, very important. So my guys, I don't know what to think about this video. Please drop your comment. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now.